Okay, now let's get into some of the meat here. Mitt Romney mentioning clean coal. There's no such thing as clean coal. Clean coal as an idea exists. It's something Republicans talk about. It's something sometimes President Obama has talked about, but it's not real, okay? This is no different than Mitt Romney referencing Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. He's talking about something which is not real.
Okay.
Case in point, Romney took 2 minutes to get to his first lie, saying he won't cut taxes for the rich. He said that in his first answer. Just not true. Numerous nonpartisan tax policy centers have said that's just not true. It's going to happen. He's going to lower taxes for the rich. 2008 all over again, I thought, in Obama refusing that first call from Jim Lehrer to respond directly to Romney. And instead, he looked over at Romney, he looked back at Jim Lehrer, and he went into talking points completely disconnected from anything Romney said. Now, Natan seems to think that this may have been a strategy. This Obama kind of being very lax and low-key and not going after, not taking an opportunity to bring up the 47% video when talking about poor people. Missing a lot of opportunities.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that, Obama looking tired, bored, listless, uninterested was part of the plan. I think that was just a failure on his part. Hopefully he won't do it again. As for the strategy, I do think it seemed like there was a clear strategy not to let Romney feed off of anything he was saying to get any zingers in. Obama was just going to answer very calmly, very simply, very wonkishly, as all the pundits call it, and let Romney incriminate himself, and then later on, after the debate's over, pummel him on the campaign trail and in, campaign ads.
So, Lewis, this is kind of like the ultimate conservative defense. You play no offense, you just play enough defense to basically keep the lead by the time the game ends, right? Just don't do anything that will have you lose the lead by November. Good
Right.
strategy?
I don't know. I mean, I think we have to wait a few more days and see. But he was definitely strictly playing defense. And I don't know, kind of like when you're watching a fighter defend his belt and he just kind of dances around while the other guy's trying to knock him out. It makes for a pretty boring fight.
It definitely is boring.
And that's basically what was going on here.
We got into the deficit, and one of the most popular moments that resulted in the most internet memes was when Mitt Romney said, we're going to cut subsidies to PBS. I mean, I love Big Bird and I love you, Jim Lehrer, but we're going to cut subsidies to PBS. Listen, Mitt, just because Sesame Street is the only thing you watch on PBS doesn't mean that that's all that PBS does. And let's talk about the real issue with that, Lewis. PBS is 0.012% of the budget. The idea that this is even a good strategy to say let's cut PBS is absurd because it is just nothing. It's not, to call it a drop in the bucket would be to hugely overstate the importance of PBS as part of the budget.
You could probably close one military base in a country that we have no stake in and save more than that.
And save 100 times that.
Yeah.
No question about it. No question about it. I didn't like the fact that when we started talking about deficits during the debate, President Obama didn't just say, listen, whatever you're going to say about the deficit and trillions and this and that, I am the president who has grown the deficit by the smallest amount since Eisenhower, according to nonpartisan research. Didn't say it. And again, Natan, you think maybe it's just about don't say anything that could then be used in a political ad.
Well, it's funny. Later on we're going to interview Dennis Campbell, and he, as we know, he has a theory about what might have happened here with Obama's tired look, but we'll get into that later. I don't know. I think that overall this was a strategy. I think in part it failed because Obama seemed to be just, like he didn't want to be there. And let me point one more thing out. Some of the pundits have said, and I kind of think that this might be true, that, what's going on is that Obama really dislikes Romney on a personal level. He just hates this guy. When he's talking to his aides about him, he just sees him as a total unprincipled, just opportunist. And it kind of seemed like during some of those, cutaway shots or during the split screen that he was just fed up with this guy, and he had that half smile trying to cover it up, and I think it showed.
He definitely seemed fed up, but you'd think that he would be able to control that better. Don't you think, Lewis?
I mean, when you're at this level, I think everything is calculated. And the thing that we will hear later from Dennis that he brought up is interesting. I didn't think about that. But you have to assume that everything was executed as planned. Whether or not those plans were a good idea is to be seen.